studied when I was younger, and then I gave it up for a while. I've picked it up again recently, so you know, it's all book learned. I'm following your lead here. This is your quest. I have things that I need to do that are not here, and I'm going to need help. I understand. Thank you, because I would not be alive if you had not. You saved my life, so thank you.
No problem.
Yesterday was really not great.
Yeah, well, we'll do better today, right?
Sure we will.
Well, howdy, y'all. Guess what? We're streaming because I'm staying up late recording an audiobook, and even if nobody shows up to streams, it makes me feel like I'm not Going to take a quick one and BRB.
And teaming up has been a good thing. Oh, yes, very good. I know everyone else makes fun of your smell, but I don't smell nothing. That's what I like about you. You see, the sun is coming up, but you can still see one or two up there. You see that one? The stars? That's a planet, that one. That's another place. No, we're on the planet.
It is hard to believe, but I was able to do I danced the waltz and the tarantelle. It's been many years.
Well, you should show me sometime, because I want to see it.
I'm very much out of practice, and
You can do it when nobody's watching, okay?
I can see you as a waltzer. That makes sense.
it does a little bit.
I'm really good at the waltz. Yeah, they taught me the same time I learned piano.
You are always the better dancer than the Astrid. You are always so good.
I'm sure Astrid loves you very much.
I knew it had to be done. In the middle of the night, placed it against the door to the home, and I set it on fire.
strangers were brought in, traitors. Disgusting people, traitors to this empire, and killed them.
What?
Students?
He made you
We wanted,
executioners.
we wanted to be.
What are you hoping to find?
Anybody can make lights. Anybody could send a message through a wire. I want to bend reality to my will.
Caleb, no one wants that amount of power and responsibility.
Yeah, well, I told you why I am afraid of fire.
All right, I'll leave. I'll keep your secret. We'll keep all this a secret. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of, though. Figure it out in time.
Good night, Beauregard. Shine bright, circus man.
Okay, We're going to give this test. Maybe Debu would have the edge against him when it came to a straight fight. Of your troops, few squadrons among our forces show such discipline. Have only one order for you today, in truth, said Coon with a chuckle. Your champion, Two looked at Mag, who took a step forwards. Then at last he walked towards us, presenting himself as if for inspection. I noticed his bronzed knuckles were wide where they gripped his shield and blade. But to my voice, the apathy of knowing an unfavorable outcome before it arrives, ring. Two now, convinced she could never win. We proceeded to the nearest ring. sword arcing around in a powerful side swing. Tu deflected it with his shield. He would obey his captain's order, and his captain had ordered him to win. Winced with pain. Tu's foot lashed out, catching Debu in the gut. Pace away. Even as he tripped, Tu caught him in the shoulder with the flat of his blade.
the ring on their shoulders. "Troops!" barked Mag suddenly. Opponent to his feet for honor's sake, but the rest of the squadron would not have it. And yours more than most. I only ask that you do not make me regret it. to fight. And doing them a small favor may repay us all in the end. An excellent idea, said Mag. You two must see to your preparations, but I will be of little use in that. Let me instead see what I may learn. I should tell the Guild of Lovers in any case. I am certain they will want to know, and doing them a small favor may repay us all in the end. An excellent idea, said Mag, nodding. Let us know if you learn anything. Dryleaf gave her a smile. Where do you think we are going? I asked. Who knows, said Mag. I am sure Coon would not tell us even if we asked. Yet he may have told others. After Debu's trial, we had little time to celebrate. Coon had ordered a march for the next morning, and that meant the rest of our day would be spent in furious preparation. Before setting our squadron, Meg and I went to our squadrons and began prodding them into action to pack their things. Columns of smoke. Not just one campfire, nearly a dozen. kingdom could threaten all of Dorsey, and that was more important than Mag and me.
Woo! Whiz, bang!
Well, that's not embarrassing at all, to realize that I had my microphone muted this whole time. Don't worry, I'm totally fine. Thank you so much for the host, Final Boss Editing. I really appreciate it. I was just about to take a quick bathroom break, but I'm going to do that and then continue on with the recording in just a minute. Thanks again for the host. I'll be right back. I know, right? How embarrassing. But hey, timing sometimes happens with that. I'm just glad that somebody's here to tell me that my microphone has been muted the entire fucking stream. 'Cause it has been. It wasn't just recently muted. It's been muted the whole time. What's up, Novalith? Hope you're having a good late night, if it's late where you are.
That town held a small garrison of mystics. If anyone could deal with this situation... Taitu was to the south, and she knew that town held a small garrison of mystics. If anyone could deal with this situation, the Red Cloaks could. The rider blew out a loud, exasperated sigh, sending it misting up into the wintry air. Then she climbed into the saddle. "Come on, boy," she said, patting her horse's neck. "We make for Taitu. One more delay I will take out on the Wanderer's hides whenever we find them." Scene break, 2 seconds of silence. Dryleaf went about his business in Taitu while Mag and I set to ours in the encampment. We had drilled our squadrons on packing their kit, but they still needed our attention and an occasional sharp word. By the time the sun was lowering towards the horizon, I was nearly worn out. Dryleaf found Mag and me just as we had reunited and started supper. "I hope you're... I've totally the wrong voice. I hope your day was fruitful," said the old British man. Dryleaf found Mag and me just as we had reunited and started supper. "I hope your day was fruitful," he said. "The only fruit born today was a thistle," I said, "and I feel its needles all up and down my back. Why is it I can travel hundreds of leagues with the two of you and feel fine, but after spending one day helping others prepare for a journey, I feel ready to quit?" Dryleaf chuckled. "Ask any parent if they were ever as tiled. Excuse me, parent? Were you tiled? Were you tiled, parent? Prepare for a journey. I feel ready to quit." Dryleaf chuckled. "Ask any parent if they were ever as tired before children as they were after." Mag smirked. "We are their officers, not their parents, and they will have a rude awakening if they forget it. But what of you? What were you able to learn?" The old man shook his head with a smile. "I should have predicted this, but the Guild of Lovers already knew about the march. They have a wagon ready to follow the army with some half-dozen lovers. 2 of my friends, Orla and Nikau, will be coming along. In any case, the lovers must have heard of it from some of the mystics who are closest in Kuhn's council, who I would have difficulty befriending. In any case, the lovers must have heard of it from some of dozen lovers. 2 of my friends, Orla and Nikau, will be coming along. In any case, the lovers must have heard of it from some of the other mystics who... fucking shitballs, tits, fuck-ass shit. Dozen lovers. 2 of my friends, Orla and Nikau, will be coming along. In any case, the lovers must have heard of it from some of the mystics who are closest in Kuhn's council, who I would have difficulty befriending, of course. It appears the march was a complete surprise to most of the Red Cloaks. Even 2 had not known of it. I met Mag's gaze. "That means Kuhn was afraid of word getting out," I said. "And that likely means he is going after the Shades," said Mag, tapping her fingers on her thigh. "This is something, at least. You could learn nothing else?" "Only that we are marching north," said Dryleaf. "No one knows exactly where." "North," I mused. "I know of nothing important that way, other than the town where you grew up, Mag." Her mouth... Voice acting. "I know of nothing important that way, other than the town where you grew up, Mag." Her mouth twisted towards a frown, as though she had almost said something but then thought better of it. "That place is anything but important." Just then 2 approached us. He gave us all a quick nod and touched Dryleaf gently on the shoulder to let him know he was there. "I have returned from Captain Zhu's war council." I glanced at the sun, which had only barely begun to sink below the horizon. "It seems to have gone rather quickly." 2 nodded, but he looked troubled. "It did. My company will be marching in the vanguard with the captain's mystics. He instructed that your squadrons be at the forefront, behind him." That was a surprise, though I quickly realized it should not have been. "He wishes to keep an eye on us," I said. His mouth twisted. "I am only passing down the order." But I could see in his eyes that he thought I was correct. When we muster in the morning, you know where to be." "Yes, sir," I said, snapping a salute where I sat. 2 nodded and left. Mag's eyes were alight with excitement. "Good for us, I say. I would rather be at the front. Anything to get to the Shades faster. We can help root out the Shades and end this war, Albern. I feel it." I chuckled. "End the war? Why, Mag, you sound almost as though you were truly committed to the fight now. I thought it was only a cover for us to find Kaita." She did not answer, or even change her expression, but her fist jabbed out and struck me hard in the shoulder. My whole arm went dead, and I cursed and fumed as Mag went to help Dryleaf fetch his supper. That evening, a wagon trundled up to the camp as we were almost ready to end our night. It was covered entirely in a brilliant blue cloth of a beautiful weave. Mag and I stopped and watched it approach. Of a beautiful weave. Mag and I stopped and watched it approach. Halan and Debu were with us, each of them discussing some final matters before the morning's march. As the wagon drew near to us, I spied the driver, a tall, brown-skinned man with lustrous black hair down to his shoulders, supple, muscled arm? Just one. Supple, muscled the driver. Were with us, each of them discussing some final matters before the morning's march. As the wagon drew near to us, I spied the driver, a tall, brown-skinned man with lustrous black hair down to his shoulders, supple, muscled arms, and large... Such a long fucking sentence. Fuck! It's fine. It's fine. Were with us, each of them. Who wrote this shit? Some final matters before the morning's march. As the wagon drew near to us, I spied the driver, a tall, brown-skinned man with lustrous black hair down to his shoulders, supple, muscled arms, and large, strong hands. He looked like a man of Calenton, which held my attention. As the wagon slowed, he nodded to us. "Good eve, friends," he said. His voice was like warm, smooth liquid pouring. His voice. He nodded to us. "Good eve, friends," he said. His voice was like warm, smooth liquid pouring down the nape of your neck. "We seek a friend of yours, an older gentleman named Dryleaf. Do you know him?" "Is that Nikau?" Dryleaf thrust his head out of his tent. "Nikau, darling boy, you found me." Like a mirror of Dryleaf, a woman poked her head out of the blue Like a mirror thrust his head out of his tent. "Nikau, darling boy, you found me." Like a mirror of Dryleaf, a woman poked her head out of the blue front flaps of the wagon. She was a slim, delicate young thing, with pale, headish skin and hair that flamed red like Halan's, but curly and more lustrous. She leaned her elbows on the front edge of the wagon and beamed down at Dryleaf. "There he is," she called sweetly. "We have arrived, dear friend, and we thought to seek a song from you before we slumber. Any journey should be blessed by merriment before it begins, or else who knows what darkness might befall it." "Who indeed? Thank you, my boy," said Dryleaf, as Debu helped him climb out of the tent and stand up. "It would be my utter joy to share songs and stories with you tonight, and on the road as well." "Am I to guess that you are from the Guild of Lovers?" I said. "We are," said the man with a knowing smile. "I am Nikau, as Dryleaf said." "And I am Orla," said the woman, holding a hand towards me. I took it and kissed it. Her fingers were soft as cream and almost the same color. "Entirely enchanted." I cleared my throat. "As are we. I am—" No, too much. "Enchanted. Color. Entirely enchanted." I cleared my throat. As are we. I am Alburn of the family Telfer, and this is Mag. These are Halan and Debu, 2 soldiers in our squadrons. Dryleaf has sung your praises ever since we arrived in the town. Orla climbed down from the wagon and wrapped her arm through Dryleaf's, laying her head on his shoulder.
If that is true, I feel simply cheated. How could he sing without me there to hear it?
We shall have plenty of chances to hear him on the road, love, said Nikau with a smile. He kept studying me. I wondered if he was as curious about me as I was about him, and if he could see my Calentan features through my lighter complexion.
A pleasure to meet you both. Do not hesitate to seek us out should you wish our services. It would be our honor to comfort the friends of Dryleaf, who we have come to love so well.
I shall, certainly consider it, I said, scratching the back of my neck. My friend Mag, however. Mag smirked at my obvious discomfort.
I am not a better, but your offer is generous and well-spoken.
That is well enough, said Nikau, giving her a nod, and then me a wink.
You're coming with us?
Well enough, said Nikau, giving her a nod, and then me a wink.
You are coming with us?
Said Debu.
On the march?
Nikau gave him an easy smile.
We are. And if it means I get to see those arms of yours each day, I, for one, will do so with pleasure.
Debu thrust a tongue into his cheek hard to fight a smile, and he shook his head.
I thank you for the compliment, but we are marching to war, or so we all believe. Is it not safer to ply your trade here?
You need not worry for that, boy, said Halan, folding his arms. He gave Nikau a nod and Orla a wink. Lovers are much as safe in war as they are in any town or city. Their laws forbid them from taking sides, and so why should anyone seek to harm them? Their trade's neutral and a help to either side, and I can say from some experience that a lover can hardly find better clientele than when traveling along with an army.
All very true,
said Orla, smiling at him from Dryleaf's side.
And I do love a soldier with experience.
Halan bowed low, his beard pressing into his chest. I'll recommend some to you, then. His eyes flitted to Nikau. And mayhap you'll make some recommendations as well.
I am sure they will hardly be necessary,
said Nikau, placing a hand on Halan's arm.
But for now we had better see to our arrangements. Come, Orla, I will not build your tent for you.
Orla laughed, and it was like music.
Of course you will, if I ask it, she said. But I'm coming.
She leaned in to give Dryleaf a quick peck on the cheek.
Await my return, dear one. We will come to hound you for a song as soon as we may.
The tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth.
Await my return, dear one. We will come to hound you for a song as soon as we may.
She danced away towards the back of the wagon. Behind her, some other lovers descended to the ground, and they began to see to the horses' needs and set up tents near the armies. I noticed Mags and my squadrons looking at them with interest, and I strongly suspected they would be glad for Dryleaf's presence during the long march ahead. Mag was shaking her head with a slightly I noticed, and they began to see to the horses' needs and set up tents near the armies. I noticed Mags and my squadrons looking at them with interest, and I strongly suspected they would be glad for Dryleaf's presence during the long march before us. Mag was shaking her head with a slightly amused expression.
At least our march shall not be dreary, wherever we end up marching to.
No, it certainly will not, said Dryleaf, beaming.
We all sang and spoke and laughed and drank that night, and the next morning we set out from Taitu before dawn. Two's company marched just behind Coon's mystics, as ordered. Dryleaf found a place in the army's train near the lovers, among the wagons and carts of the camp followers that accompany any force on a campaign. Mag and I were marching to war for the first time in many years. Though we walked in grim company, for the first time in a while, I found myself excited to take the next step in our journey. Scene break, 2 seconds of silence. The rider was headed south towards Taitu on a narrow, little-used hunting trail. The day was cold, and the warmth of her mount was little comfort against it. Sharp hills cracked the land around her, like broken fingers arching towards the sky in pain. Dark mutterings poured in a steady trickle from her lips, promising baneful revenge against Mag and me when at last she caught up to us. To the south, a flight of birds launched itself into the air, screaming. The rider stopped. Her eyes narrowed. She moved off the trail into the hills, hiding her horse behind some boulders. Retracing her steps, she found a place where she could watch the path while keeping herself hidden. It was not long before a column of soldiers came into view. The rider leaned forwards, narrowing her eyes. At the head of the column she saw mystics. Some were on horseback, but most were on foot. Behind the red cloaks were other folk. They looked like artisans and farmers, and almost none of them were mounted. But they carried weapons and shields, and sometimes 1 or 2 pieces of armor, though it was ragtag and scattered among them. Militia, thought the rider. And then she saw Mag and me. We were close to the head of the column, riding our horses in plain sight. The rider froze, but only for an instant before she was cursing under her breath and racing back towards her horse. "Dark-damned, steel-loving, slip-this-fish, needy, Only for an instant before she was cursing under her breath and racing back towards her horse. "Dark-damned, steer-loving, slipshod nuisances," she said, and carried on in like manner as she mounted. The moment she was in the saddle, she dug in her heels with a great cry, riding towards the hunting trail at a gallop. Coon and his mystic spotted her while she was still spans off. Immediately the mystics formed up, drawing weapons and hefting their shields to form a wall in front of Coon. Knights barked orders, directing more of the column to advance and join them. The rider slowed her horse to a walk, throwing empty hands into the air. "Hail!" she cried. "My weapons are stowed, and I bear no ill intent. Kindly do not shoot me." Mag and I came marching forwards with our units. The rider studied us, eyes narrowing in a glare, but she could see that we did not recognize her. And why should we have? She was wrapped head to toe in clothing against the cold. Not even a shock of hair stuck out from her hood and mask. "That is far enough," Coon called out amiably. "Who are you, and what do you want?" "2 things," said the rider. "The first is more important. I have come looking for you, for I guess that you are the mystic garrison from Taitu. I have news for you about the shades." The effect on all of us was immediate. Mag and I glanced at each other, and most of the gathered soldiers gripped their weapons tighter. The woman's voice instantly struck me as familiar, but it was far away and muffled, both by her mask and by the heavy snows all around us. My mind raced, trying to place it, but I could not. All around us. My mind raced, trying to place it, but I could not. Coon's smile only widened. "I am curious about your news, as well as why you think I should trust it," he called out. "But you said you wanted 2 things. What is the second?" The rider's voice went sour. "I am looking for 3 people in your company." Coon's smile vanished. "Are you now?" It was not a question, but more of a statement of annoyed anticipation. "I am," said the rider. "I seek Dryleaf, an older man, and two whom I see before me, Mag, called by some the Uncut Lady, and especially Alburn of the family Telfer." Mag frowned, and a flush crept up into my cheeks, yet still I could not place her voice. The rider smiled to herself, drawing a dark enjoyment from our reactions. Kuhn, meanwhile, had turned a baleful glare on us. "I see," he said. "Why does it not surprise me that the two of you are connected to this stranger who rides out of the wilderness with knowledge of the shades?" Mag never took her eyes off the rider. "I do not recognize her, Captain." "Nor I," I added. It did not seem wise to mention the familiarity of her voice, for I did not think Kuhn would be much pleased. "Who are you, stranger? Show your face." "Stranger!" "Who are you, stranger? Show your face." "Stranger!" The rider snorted. "How would a stranger know your names or recognize you? You know me, wanderers, even if you do not know that you know me." She dismounted before removing her mask and pulling back the hood of her cloak. I had nocked an arrow, now it dipped immediately. Mag put her spear up at once. Both of us took a tentative step forwards, unable to believe our own eyes. "Yue?" I gasped. Woof doggy. Nope. That is it for me. Oh, boy. Ugh. Anybody still streaming? Oh, hey, look at that. Dragomir is streaming. Well, I'm going to kick it over. We have any writing people streaming? No, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so I'm gonna kick a raid over to Dragomir. Say hi for me. Wish him well. If you're still watching, Novalith. Oops. And yeah, it was fun to stream tonight, even if it wasn't for super long. And I should be back tomorrow working on the quest outline during the day, and then maybe doing some more audiobook streaming tomorrow night. Thanks for coming and hanging out, everyone. I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm quite curious to see how much fun I'm gonna have with that. Like and yeah, I really would want to be the new Bill Gates. Oh my, I mean, like seriously, that